Hey guys, my name is Haley and I'm finally here to film my reading goals wrap up for 2018 and then my goals for 2019. Sorry it took so long to get up. It took me forever to find time to film, and also I was super burnt out after all the Vlogmas videos that I posted, which that was a lot of videos in a very short period of time. So I'm just gonna quickly go through like whether or not I accomplished some of the goals I set for 2018. I don't really remember all of them. I did look at my list. I have a list right here to reference, but yeah, I'm gonna go through the things that I remember. So first off, I had my Goodreads goal at 100 books and I read 122 last year, so definitely surpassed that one. My next goal was to reread the Chronicles of Narnia. That did not happen. That's still a goal for this year. You'll hear about that. I wanted to read 20 Christian books and I included both fiction and nonfiction in that, and I think I only read like 12 or 13 last year. I don't know what happened. Actually, I do know what happened. I basically stopped reading in November and December, so I did not get nearly as many books in general read as I could have because I fell into a K-pop hole, which you might have noticed because every video I've posted so far this year has been Astro related. Another goal was to annotate more, and I most definitely did that. I put up my How I Annotate Books videos, which I'll leave linked down below, that already got like a decent amount of views, like way more than I was expecting, so apparently y'all liked that one. I wanted to read all of Brandon Sanderson's books that were out, and I definitely did not do that. I did read, I think, 3 of his books last year. I read Elantris, Warbreaker, and Way of Kings, which was honestly better than expected, but I still have Words of Radiance, Oathbringer, the entire Second Era Mistborn books, and Skyward that just came out. I have all of those left still to read this year, but since I don't know if he has any books that are actually scheduled for this year, or at least not that I'm aware of, I should be able to read a decent amount of those this year. Oh, next up I wanted to complete some series, and I DNF'd a bunch of them. Like, I DNF'd the Reality Dysfunction series, which was on my list. I DNF'd Charlie Bone, which was also on my list. I did start the Lotus War trilogy, but I did not finish it, which I was hoping to do before the end of the year last year, but that didn't happen. I also DNF'd Black Prism. That was a whole ordeal. And I didn't even get to The Darkest Minds. I'm not even sure if I still want to read that series, because I'm not positive how much I'll like it, but we'll see. I might try them at least this year. Next goal was to read a bunch of the first books in series that I owned already that were on my shelves, and I actually think I did do a lot of that, and I either DNF'd a bunch or just got rid of them because I was no longer interested in them. I think I only have like a couple left. Let me look. I only have like 2 or 3 left on my TBR shelf, so that's not too bad. I basically accomplished that one. And then I think in my mid-year wrap-up, I talked about how I want to get my TBR down, and that is still a goal for 2019. So let's go into the 2019 goals. So again, my main goal for this year, or like one of my main goals, is to just like get the TBR down. I'm gonna go count how many are on my TBR right now, just so I have that for this video. I currently have 52 TBR books, not including my Christian nonfiction, which I don't normally include in my TBR books because it's like its own separate genre to me, and also not including classics because I have a couple of those, but quite frankly, I don't read those very often. So out of those 52 books, I would like to get that number down to around 10 or 15, preferably less, because I've started using Overdrive and Scribd, which I started using, I want to say halfway through or like 3/4 of the way through last year, and I prefer listening to the audio of any book that I'm interested in first if my libraries have it, and if they don't, I'm okay with getting it for like a couple bucks off of Thrift Books or Amazon Used Marketplace. But for the most part, I've been doing that, like unless the audiobook doesn't exist or is really hard to find or I have to pay for it and it's not on any of my libraries, then I've bought a couple books, but other than that, I don't think I've bought any in the last couple of months that I've never read. So I'm trying to stick to that this year and just like listen to audiobooks of the books that I want to read that are available on audio, and then if I love them, buy them. Because I'm trying to keep, don't completely hold me to this because I don't know how well this is going to work out. I've never done like this type of thing. But I want to try and keep my book buying under 50 books this year, which I think I can do. Because what really gets me is thrift books. And if I'm listening to books first, I think that'll definitely help with the book buying. So we're gonna try that this year. And that'll hopefully keep the TBR down. Oh, and I did put my Goodreads goal to 50 just because, quite frankly, I've gotten into a ton of other things in the last couple of months, namely K-pop, and that is taking up a lot of my time. And I also really want to get into K-dramas. And I did not watch a single episode of TV last year, I don't think, besides like the kids shows that I watch with the kids that I nanny. So I do want to kind of get back into TV, and that takes up some of my reading time, so I didn't want to like force myself for 100 books this year, but there's definitely still the possibility that I can hit that. So I left my Goodreads goal at around 50 because that's how many TBR books I have. And I definitely am going to read more than the TBR books because I'm going to listen to a bunch of audios, but that is the plan. I wanted to keep it at a like relatively normal number, which like 50 books is still a lot for most people, but as someone who's read more than 100 books for like 2 or 3 years in a row now, and probably did as a kid, I just didn't track my reading then, I'm gonna stick to 50. But yeah, those are my main goals for 2019. Let me know what some of your goals are down below in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I will see all of you guys next time.